And now it's time for a brief moment in hockey history with old-time hockey. When somebody says the Hamilton Tigers, what comes to mind first?
Who's on the field? Welcome to the Canadian Football League, Johnny Manziel. It's Johnny football time.
It may surprise you to learn that Hamilton also had an NHL franchise at one point. Much like their counterparts in the Canadian Football League, the Hamilton Tigers operated from 1920 to 1925. The team's origins go back to the Quebec Hockey Club, which started play in 1878. Originally known as an amateur team, they turned professional in 1909 and became a member of the NHL in 1917. But due to financial difficulties, the NHL-NHA dispute, the Quebec Bulldogs lay dormant until the 1919-20 season. After that year, the NHL took back ownership of the Bulldogs and sold the rights to the team to the Abso Pure Ice Company of Hamilton, Ontario. The club was moved to Hamilton and they changed their name to the Tigers. However, the move from Quebec to Hamilton did not improve the Tigers' record. Even with league scoring ace Joe Malone, who due to contractual obligations was not able to play the first 4 games, but scored 30 goals in 20 games. The Tigers finished their season with 6 wins, 18 losses, and no ties. The next 3 seasons was just as dreadful as the first, as the Tigers finished in last place every year. During the 1924-25 season, things started to turn around. After some personnel and player changes, the team started their 24-25 season with an impressive 10 wins, 4 losses, and 1 tie. They would finish the year with 19 wins, 10 losses, and 1 tie. And it looked as though the franchise would have a shot at winning their very first Stanley Cup. But it was not to be. During the railway travel back to Hamilton after the season's final game, the players went to their general manager and demanded $200 pay for the extra 6 games that were played that season. The NHL had decided to increase the number of games that year from 24 to 30, but the players didn't receive any increase in pay. The Tigers management stated that their contracts said the players played from December 1st to March 30th and did not specify what number of games they would play, and refused to pay them any more money and passed the issue on to the NHL. Thus began the first players' strike in NHL history. The Tigers players did not back down, but ultimately were beaten by management as they were declared ineligible to play in the playoffs, stating that the Montreal Canadiens were to be league champions and each Tigers player was fined the $200 they were asking for. The Montreal Canadiens went on to play for the Stanley Cup, but were defeated by the Victoria Cougars, which marked the last time that an NHL team would lose the cup to a rival league. After the 1925 season, the Hamilton Tigers were sold off to an American bootlegger named Big Bill Dwyer, who owned the expansion option for an NHL franchise in New York. He bought the players' contracts for $75,000 and named his team the New York Hamilton Tigers. But by the time the team went to training camp, it was changed to the New York Americans. The NHL had hoped to keep a team in Hamilton for the 25-26 season and even had a preliminary schedule made up with Hamilton playing all 30 games. But nothing would ever come of it. The franchise moved to New York, and the city of Hamilton, Ontario, would never see another NHL franchise again. And this has been a brief moment of hockey history.